Hello boys and girls, so we just watched a video about how you can label and drag words and draw arrows so that we know exactly where the label needs to go. And now we're going to label a diagram writing the words on our own. So this can be a little more difficult, and this is something that you are going to be doing on your own writing. You're not really going to be taking words and dragging them, but you're going to be trying to write these unknown words on your own. So here we have a picture of a bear. This is actually from one of your Scholastic news magazines. This is another activity that we can do, but we're going to use it today for some labeling. So as you can see, it already has the arrows pointing to each part of the bear for us, so we don't need to do arrows like we did last time. It gives us boxes, and actually we're really lucky because the boxes give us one line for each letter, so we can kind of use that to help guide us with this word bank up here. So if you're unsure of any part of the bear, not only can you use the word bank to help, but we can count the number of letters that are going to be in each word. So when we label, as I stated in the last video, we label a picture because it helps the reader to give the reader information. So without labels, the reader might not be 100% sure about your picture or what's in your picture. So here we have a brown bear, and we're going to label the brown bear today with a pen or pencil. You should be using pencil, but since I'm using the smartboard, I'm going to be using a pen. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to switch over to my pen. I'm going to pick blue just so we can see it and that it doesn't blend in. So the first part I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a part that I know is what that part definitely is. So I see this arrow right here is pointing to the bear's nose. So I'm going to spell the word nose, and I know that nose has 1, 2, 3, 4 letters. So nose I also know starts with N. So I'm going to look for the word in the word bank. I see the word nose right here. It starts with an N. No other words in the word bank start with N, so I will record. So I will write N, O, S, E. And now I know that this arrow is showing us where the bear's nose is. Next, we will label the bear's ear. So I know ear can be a very tricky word. I know how to spell this word because I have spelled it before, but for those of you who don't, it can be really, really hard. So we're going to just try our best to spell it the best we can. A lot of you might not hear every sound. So we have E, A, R. So we have the bear's ear. Next, I'm going to come down, and what I should have done from the beginning is cross out the words as I use them so I know what words are left. So I have nose, I did ear. Now I'm going to come down, and so I could say that this arrow is either pointing to the bear's foot or paw or the bear's claw. Since it's pointing to the very edge of the bear's foot, I'm going to think that it's a claw because I don't see the word foot up here. So I know that this word claw has to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different letters. So now we're going to label claw. And I'm going to write claws with an S because that tells me that there is more than one. I'm going to cross it out up here on my word bank. Now I have two boxes left to label. So I labeled nose, ear, claws, and now I have 2 left. So this one is probably going to be easier for me to label because I know it only has 3 letters. So there's only 2 words left, and fur is the only word I know right now that has 3 letters. So I know that this is going to be what this label has inside of it. So I'm going to write fur, F-U-R, fur. And now I know that this arrow is pointing to the bear's fur. It could be confused. You might want to, if you were labeling on your own, you could probably make your own label. You could draw another line and we could label it chest because that is the bear's chest. So you could always go back and add your own labels, which is something that you will be doing on your own in your own writing. So I can even add my own like I just did. I drew the line and then I wrote the word that my line is pointing to for my reader. And then my last word that I'm going to label with is a shoulder hump. If I was writing this on my own without the word bank, I don't know if I would use shoulder hump, but since we have it, we can write it in there. So shoulder hump is a really long word, so I'm going to try to copy it in the blanks as best as I can so that we know going forward that this is called a bear's shoulder hump. And if we had read the magazine in this video, they probably would have told us a little bit more about what a shoulder hump is, but we're just labeling right now. So I crossed it out. I used all my words. Like I said before, if I wanted to, I could also go back and label parts on my own without using the word bank. So, for example, I could draw the line here, and then I write leg, because now I know this is the bear's leg. I could also draw a line here from the bear's eye and label his eyes. So even without my word bank, I was able to add so many labels to this video, and it just helps us to know that how much information that we can have on our picture. And it just gives the reader so much more to look at, and it just tells the reader a little bit more about what we're trying to teach them, especially as we write like scientists throughout this next unit. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening.